over Indo-China standoff in the middle of the ferocious war of wars between India and China. Now, India-China bilateral meeting between the special representatives on the sidelines of BRICS. The NSA's meeting has been ruled out. India today has learned that China is not keen on any dialogue unless India withdraws troops. On the other hand, India has not sought for any bilateral meeting. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval will be in Beijing for BRICS on 27th and 28th of July. Meanwhile, in a fresh there, a former Chinese diplomat told the Chinese state media that Indian troops are only left with few options. One is to withdraw or will be attacked by China. All right, let's see. The nexus of Pakistan and China, which is trying to checkmate India. June 16th, standoff in Doklam, which is a tri-junction between China, Bhutan and India. China issues 1962 war reminder is countered from the defense minister, saying that India of 2017 is not India of 1962. China wants that we can enter Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistan, and also 42 ceasefire Pakistan violations so far from January to June this year. 42. 40 Jawans martyred on our side, but India has retaliated strongly as well. There has been proxy war being fueled from Pakistan, 172 terror incidents so far, 42 infiltration attempts this year alone from Pakistan, and all this while China and Pakistan are building an economic corridor on the Pakistan occupied territory of India. Pakistan continuing to keep the border boiling in the valley, and now with Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister having stated that China is also interfering in the state, the big question is Pakistan also provoking at China's behest? Take a look.
Children hiding under desks to escape Pakistani army targeting their village along the line of control in the Nowshera sector. In the past 72 hours, the Pakistan army has upped the ante, targeting schools, villages, military posts and vehicles along the line of control. As the face-off at the Doklam Plateau enters its second month, Pakistan has upped the ante to increase the pressure on the Indian army. July 19th, an army JCO, Subedar Shashi Kumar, succumbed to his injuries in ceasefire violation by the Pakistan army. On the same day, repeated ceasefire violations by Pakistan army in the Bhimbir and Nowshera sector. July 18th, Sipahi Jaspreet Singh killed in ceasefire violation by Pakistan army in the Nowshera sector. July 17th, Naik Mudassar Ahmad killed in Pakistan army ceasefire violation in the Rajouri sector. More than 40 Jawans killed in Pakistan ceasefire violations since January 2017. The United States State Department has now chipped in, adding that India and China must resolve the crisis peacefully and come up with a better arrangement.
All school children were saved when the administration and the army were taking out all school children in a bulletproof vehicles outside the school. There was a blast from the Pakistani. One mortar shell fell near the vehicle, and all school children were saved, and they were taken to shelter to the Nowshera sector.
Security forces believe Pakistan is working in tandem with China to create pressure points along the India-Pakistan line of control, even as India strengthens its defense to deal with Chinese army's psychological warfare along the Sino-Indian line of actual control. But is Pakistan's recently increased aggression a direct consequence of being hand-in-glove with its old ally China? As China needles along the Sikkim border, Islamabad is keeping troops busy at the LOC.
Either we officers have started getting rotten material, who cannot think, who cannot take a decision. There was no question of a decision.
As per the Indian Army Chief, General Bipin Rawat has asserted the forces' readiness to wage battle along 2.5 fronts.
India only wants status quo, okay, what was existing earlier. Even in Bhutan and China, there is an agreement, I think 2012, where they have said that till the boundary dispute is resolved, status quo will be maintained. So China has tried to change that status quo. Both Bhutan and India are right in objecting.
With several kilometers of its borders on the boil, India is effectively readying to counter the dual duplicity of Beijing and Islamabad. With Ashwini Kumar in Navshera, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, the US State Department has exposed, named and shamed Pakistan on a list of nations providing safe haven to terrorists. It clearly stated that terror groups like the Lashkar and Jaish organize, train and operate out of Pakistan. It's gone on to narrow its sights on Pakistan's repeated infractions in the past, including turning a deliberate blind eye to Taliban and Haqqani networks in the country. Apart from this, it's even pulled up Pakistan for sheltering terrorists from Hafiz Saeed to Syed Salahuddin. Take a look.
A big snub to Pakistan by the United States. The US State Department has listed Pakistan as one of the nations providing a safe haven for terrorists. From Lashkar-e-Toiba founder Hafiz Saeed to Hizbul chief Syed Salahuddin. While stating that Pakistan is a terror safe haven, the US has also raised the Pathankot terror attack, slamming Pakistan's lack of action against terror groups which openly operate in the country. The report then questions how Pakistan can allow terror outfits to raise funds and even train on Pakistani soil. The report goes on to ask why, despite sanctions from the United Nations, there has been no action against Taliban and the Haqqani network in Pakistan.
It is not unprecedented. I think we need to have a reality check here. The U.S. government, including the State Department, has frequently made these same allegations. What could be coming now may not necessarily be related to the findings in the report itself, but certainly I think that these tough words and tough language toward Pakistan reflects what will probably be a new trend here in Washington, where I do think that the Trump administration will be taking a harder line against Pakistan.
Named, shamed, and now exposed on the international stage. Will Pakistan finally answer for its sons of terror? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's now cut across to the news conference of the Ministry of External Affairs.
And before the ball was bowled. Yeah, so those matters, it is not for me, and sometimes not even in my knowledge, frankly speaking, whether as to what came first. Yeah, Ramesh.
Thank you. I want to go back to the Doklam issue now. China has...
You are not going back. We are continuing with that.
Sorry, yeah. So China has repeatedly said that it has declined all offers by India for talks. And India, in contrast, has repeatedly made an offer for talks. Now, what is one supposed to make of this standoff? Is it fair to assume that India is coming across as being more eager for talks when China steadfastly refuses to talk to India? Thank you.
Ramesh, I must say my understanding of what you say the Chinese statements is different. And certainly of our own statements, I don't know how you would reach a conclusion that would have you say what you just said. What we have clearly said always is about our approach. What we have clearly said always is about the diplomatic channels, the diplomatic communications remaining available, not being broken off. And so in such matters, in such sensitive matters, who has made the offer and who has reacted or not reacted and in what manner, I think in terms of specifically dealing with the matter at hand, I think it is best left to the diplomats to conduct what they are good at, and which is diplomacy, and which is trying to find peaceful solution to the matter. Pranay?
So the Chinese have put a precondition of withdrawal of Indian troops for any meaningful dialogue. EM Sushma Swaraj in Rajya Sabha today said that we want a mutual withdrawal or withdrawal from the either side to restore the pre-16 June situation. Could you please list out that post 20th June, how many flag meetings we had with the Chinese, and to show our sincerity to resolve the problem, how many bilateral contacts we have established with Chinese to resolve this issue?
Again today that we must withdraw our forces in order for there to be a conversation.
So your first question, Pranay, is about how many flag meetings? And how many contacts we have had? How many contacts we have had is more difficult than counting all deliveries bowled in a test match over 5 days. So I would seek your understanding if I am not able to go into how many contacts or what type of contacts or at what levels. When you talk about deliveries in a test match, you don't talk about roughly. If I say roughly, you will say no. You are only saying 6.8 overs. You are not saying 6.2 overs or 0.3 overs. So let me not get into that. I'm aware of the flag meeting having taken place after 16th June. Now, whether there was one or more, I'm not sure, Pranay, but I can get back to you, and I'm marking it something on my account. I will get back to you, just as I would get back to you, Vijay. Nidhi, your question was about the precondition. I have seen this statement made today. What has been said is that the diplomatic channels have not been impeded or have been unimpeded. So I think it is important to note that aspect, to note the aspect which what I also said about diplomatic communications have never actually been broken, and diplomatic channels remaining available, which is what we also said last week. Ramesh, you want to play a second innings? It's not a test match. Shinjoy.
Sir, you suggested that there have been lots of contacts. No. You haven't. Okay. So
Pranay asked me how many contacts and what type.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'll ask a simpler question.
Thank you. So, we shall soon discover how simple is it.
When was the last time, whether in China, whether in India or anywhere else, Indian and Chinese diplomats and officials have met on this issue? And also, sir, is Bhutan and India on the same page still on the subject?
All right. So Shinjoy has an art of amalgamating two questions. It's like, metallurgy. If you have studied metallurgy, it's like forming an alloy. You mix two metals, it's two metals, but it appears as one. So Shinjoy, you have asked two questions. So I don't know if I should answer both, but okay. I'll take it as an alloy. Shinjoy, the diplomatic channels and diplomatic remaining available and diplomatic communications remaining available obviously implies that it's a process. And in the process, again, what I was asked in the morning, in the beginning, about whether we have spoken to world leaders and to whom all we have spoken and how many times. Those are not the type of details I think I should go into at this stage and in this type of a forum. I think it should suffice to say that there are diplomatic channels, there are diplomatic communications taking place, and there are embassies, our embassy in Beijing and their embassy in New Delhi.
The second part of the alloys.
Oh yeah. Which was?
Whether India and Bhutan or...
I know. Thank you. If you recall, Shinjoy, in the I think around 26, 27, somewhere around that time, the Royal Government of Bhutan had also issued a press release, maybe around 28th. I don't remember the date right now very well, but I can check it for you. 29th, correct. Thank you very much. So they had said that they would like that they had taken up the matter, they had protested, and they would like the status quo ante, that is before 16 June 2017, that to be restored, which is also what we have been saying, that that there has been an understanding of the special representatives, that there is a certain approach outlined for resolving the tri-junctions issues, and that should not be altered unilaterally. So I leave you to draw your own conclusions on that, but I think that there has been a tradition of close consultations and coordination and cooperation between government of Bhutan and India, and on this matter specifically, particularly, I think their request, their demand of the Chinese, asking them to go back to the situation where it was before 16 June 2017 is essentially the same as what our approach also is.
Bagle, there are two chief ministers, Mehbooba Mufti and Mamata Banerjee, who've both publicly spoken about Chinese meddling in J&K and Bengal respectively. Do we know what the nature is of this Chinese interference in these two states?
It was a no ball to begin with because you had asked a question. But all the same. All right, fine. I understand your question and I understand the concern in which you have asked it. Well, I won't like to comment on what political leaders or chief ministers say about, especially about external relations. We had seen the comments made by Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. I think last week it was soon after the briefing by to the political parties or after her meetings in Delhi. We had also seen the comments by the Chief Minister of West Bengal. The fact of the matter is that as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, we all know what the problem is, and the problem indeed is the cross-border terrorism, which emanates from our neighbor Pakistan and also the parts of Jammu and Kashmir occupied by Pakistan. So that on that, Nidhi and all of you are very well aware of the government's position and the concerns and the repeated demands that we have made and international community has made on Pakistan to put an end to cross-border terrorism. Geeta?
Gopal, the National Security Advisor will be visiting Beijing. There are reports,
yes, I just mentioned that. Thank you.
There are reports, I came in late. So there are reports that the Chinese side has laid out preconditions for any kind of dialogue. Has the Indian side sought for a meeting with a special representative on the sidelines of the BRICS NSA's meet, or is that meeting absolutely ruled out? And a request, no cricket analogies, I don't understand.
Well, this was a dead ball. And sorry, I had thought of this analogy before you said no cricket analogies. Geeta, the fact is that I had answered a question by one of your colleagues saying that yes, indeed, NSA will be visiting on 27, 28 for the BRICS NSA meeting. As to other engagements during that visit, if there is anything, if there are any developments, we'll keep you informed. We'll come here and then we'll go back there.
So there have been a number of ceasefire violations along the LOC. The Pakistanis have been calling the DHC. This is second time consecutive day. So have we also raised the issue? Also your comments on yesterday's developments, US declaring Pakistan as a safe haven.
I missed the first part. Your comments on what? Pakistan has called what?
Sir, Pakistan has been summoning our DHC.
DHC, all right.
So have we also raised the issue with the High Commission, the Pakistani High Commission?
Okay. Well, it is correct that our Deputy High Commissioner was summoned, and what Pakistan alleges to be ceasefire violations by India. He was, I think, asked him to visit the Foreign Ministry yesterday, and to my understanding also today. The fact of the matter is that we have also protested to Pakistan in writing about the ceasefire violations that have taken place. More, I would say, more significantly, more in numbers, and also in terms of the damage that they have caused. We have told Pakistan that our troops do not initiate ceasefire violations or fire in any way, but they do have to respond to the unprovoked firing from the Pakistani side. We have also let the Pakistan side know that we have noticed increased movements of infiltrators and terrorists in the vicinity of Pakistan army posts and of course generally across the line of control, and that's a security threat to us, so we do need to take action to neutralize it. Basically the fire that has been coming from Pakistan side has essentially been in the nature of cover fire for these infiltrators. To the best of my understanding, I think there have been more than 240 ceasefire violations this year itself. which is a very significant increase from last year. And it's not only in terms of the quantity of ceasefire violation, but you would recall that in the recent days and weeks, a number of civilians as well as army personnel have been martyred in these firings, ceasefire violations from Pakistan side. I think in the past few days alone, this month, 4 Indian soldiers have been martyred. And there was this very worrisome incident in which 200 school children were trapped as a result of shelling by Pakistan. So we have also told Pakistan that we have noticed that they have started deliberately targeting our civilian areas. And we have requested them, we have asked them that the 2003 ceasefire understanding should be maintained. So that's where this situation essentially is, and it is important to maintain peace and tranquility along the line of control. But the fact to India, this terrorists to cross into India from the other side, and by the attempts of the Pakistan military forces to provide them cover.